Hello to all my uniques out there. This is your girl Akudo. Welcome to your unique wisdom. For this week, I'm going to speak on psychological or emotional abuse. Remember, we are celebrating survivors this October. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We are talking about domestic violence. We are talking about all kinds of abuse. We have talked about physical abuse. We have talked about verbal abuse. And for this week, we are talking about psychological and emotional abuse. No abuse is tolerated. We don't accept any kind of abuse. We don't tolerate any kind of abuse. No kind of abuse is allowed. No kind of abuse is welcomed in our relationship, in our midst, in our communities, and in our society. So let's go straight and jump into it. Psychological abuse. I define it as this. It is often called emotional abuse. People use the two words together. Some call it psychological abuse, some call it emotional abuse. It is often called emotional abuse, and it is characterized by a person subjecting or exposing another person to behavior that may result in psychological trauma. This is when a person, a spouse, a partner exposes another person, subjects another person to some behaviors that result in psychological trauma. And this psychological trauma can include anxiety, chronic depression, or post-traumatic stress disorder. It can include any of this. It can be anxiety. You are always anxious. You don't know what to do. You're always on your tippy toes. You don't know. Some people, it manifests. They can breathe. They can talk. They can calm down. Anxiety. Then we talk about chronic depression. You are always depressed. You're always down. 1 minute you're happy. The next minute you're not happy. 1 minute you're good. The next minute you're not. 1 minute you want to hang with people. The next minute you want to be all by yourself. Chronic depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. He continued, he says, it is often associated with situations of power imbalance. Always psychological and emotional abuse are always associated with power imbalance. One person tends to be on top and one person tends to be beneath. One person tends to be the person bullying and the next person tends to be the person that is being bullied. He says it is associated with situations of power imbalance in abusive relationship, and it may include bullying and gaslighting. Remember in my video on verbal abuse, I defined gaslighting as dismissing the other person's emotions. That is what we call gaslighting. You are too sensitive. You are such a crybaby. You cry over everything. I don't know what to say now, and then you start crying. That's gaslighting. They dismiss your emotions. They make you feel like your opinions don't matter. They make you feel like your opinion don't count. They make you feel like you're not bringing anything to the table. You're just staying there. You have nothing to contribute. You have nothing to bring. You have nothing to say. And even if you say it, it means nothing. So absolutely, they're telling you you are nothing. So he's saying that it is a situation of power imbalance in an abusive relationship, and it always includes bullying and gaslighting. And remember, verbal abuse tends to always land in psychological and emotional abuse, because what people say to you, the words they use on you, the derogatory comments they make about you, the demeaning comments they make about you, the condescension they do towards you, the accusation. Remember what we said about verbal abuse is name calling, is blaming, is accusation, is gaslighting, is manipulation. All this all leads to psychological and emotional abuse. He continued, he said, some of these verbal abusive behaviors, which include blaming, name calling, shaming, gaslighting, and all that, result to emotionally abuse a person. It keeps them emotionally abused. And he said the victim's self-worth, this victim, the victim's self-worth and emotional well-being are altered and even diminishes. Their self-worth and their emotional well-being are being altered and diminished by this verbal abuse. They keep verbally blaming, name calling, accusation, gaslighting, all of those things I discussed in my video. They do it to you, and by the time you know it, this victim of all this verbal abuse is emotionally drained, emotionally exhausted, emotionally diminished, doesn't know who they are anymore. Because like I always tell you, my uniques, what's hot? They hurt real deep. And how do they say it? They say misery loves company, because most of the time hurt people hurt people. That person that thinks that he's up there trying to bully you is hurt himself or herself. That's why he's inflicting pain to everybody around them. But unfortunately, the people around them are the people they love the most, their family. They are the ones they hurt. They are the ones they use those abusive words on. They are the ones they want to dismiss their emotions. And then when they finally abuse you, they now dismiss it. You cry too much. You're too sensitive. You're too emotional. But emotionally, men, women, sisters, brothers, my uniques, emotionally, they are drained. They are exhausted. They don't know what to do anymore. And I'm going to give you 6 signs of harm that my sister, my brother, these are 6 things you should look out for. And know that, oh my God, I think somebody is psychologically abusing me. Oh my goodness, I think somebody is emotionally abusing me. There are 6 signs of harm. 6 signs of harm you will look at and say, yes, something is not right here. Something is not right in my sister's relationship. Something is not right. So the first one says, if you used to be confident and you are self-assured before the relationship, you were confident, you were self-assured, but now in this relationship, you find yourself self-doubting and insecure. You find yourself now self-doubting yourself and you're insecure. That's number 1 sign of harm, that there is psychological and emotional abuse. You used to be confident, you used to be self-assured, but now you are not self-assured anymore. You're self-doubting and you're insecure. That's the first sign that something is not right. Number 2, the second sign says, if you felt grounded and trusted yourself before the relationship, you were grounded and you trusted yourself, but now you're beginning to become confused and indecisive. That's another sign of harm, that psychological and emotional abuse is going on. You were grounded, you knew what what you believed in, you trusted yourself, but all of a sudden you are insecure, all of a sudden you are confused, you're indecisive, you can't make any decision because you're scared of what the outcome will be, you are scared how your partner is going to look at it, you can't make any decision, you're indecisive. Then my sister, my brother, something is definitely wrong. Remember, the first one says you are confident and self-assured, but now you're beginning to self-doubt and you are insecure. Number 2 says you were grounded and trusted yourself, but now you're beginning to be indecisive and confused. That means psychological and emotional abuse is going on. Number 3, you used to be happy and content. You are a jolly good fellow. You are happy. You're content with your life. You're content with everything about you. But he's saying now you feel emotionally exhausted and anxious all the time. My uniques, you feel emotionally exhausted. You're tired and anxious all the time. You just tired. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to go about it. You don't know what you say that will be the wrong thing. You are just exhausted. My sister, my brother, that's a sign that psychological and emotional abuse is present. Remember, I said I'm going to give you 6 signs of harm of a psychological and emotional abuse. Of a psychological and emotional abusive relationship. 6 signs. The first one, you were confident and self-assured, but now you are self-doubting and insecure. Number 2 says you were grounded and trusted yourself, but now you are confused and indecisive. Number 3 says you were happy and content, but now you are emotionally exhausted and you are anxious all the time. Number 4 says if you were competent, and you did everything and you thought so well of yourself. You were competent, you thought so high of yourself, you thought so well of yourself, but now you have come to feel unsure of yourself and incapable. Now you feel there is nothing, you can't do nothing right. You can't even cook dinner right, because anything you cook and present on the table, he or she has something to criticize about it. What you wear, he or she has something to say about it. You are incapable of cooking now. You are even incapable of taking care of your children. Little things that you could do before, little things you know you were competent in doing it, little things you thought highly and well of yourself that yes, I can do this, I can do that, I can do, but they have criticized you so much, they have condescended on you so much, they have blamed you so much, they have accused you of everything, they have name called you all kinds of names under the book. Now you are beginning to doubt yourself. Now you're not sure anymore. You're thinking, I'm not sure I can do that. I don't think I'm capable. I'm incapable of doing it. I can't do that. That's number 4. And then the 5th one say, before you knew what you believed in. You knew your values. You knew what you believed in. You knew what was a no-no for you. You knew what you could compromise with. You knew all these things. But now, you cannot, because you are losing your confidence and you're losing the trust in yourself. You can't trust yourself anymore because you're not confident in who you are. You don't know who you are. You don't know whose you are. You don't know whether you ever do anything right. You don't cook well. You don't dress well. You can't take care of your children well. You don't make money. You don't work well. Even cleaning the windows, you can't. Now you're beginning to believe that you cannot do anything right. Now it's beginning to affect who you are as a person. You're losing your confidence. You're losing your self-esteem. You're beginning to doubt yourself. You're not capable anymore. You're beginning to be unsure of yourself. You're self-doubting. You're insecure. You don't know what to do. You're emotionally exhausted and you're anxious all the time. That's number 5. And then the number 6 says, if you had insecurities, if you had any kind of insecurities, they will only intensify as they are used against you all the time. All of us have insecurities. Some of us don't like our nose. Some of us don't like our hands. Some of us don't like our ears. Some of us maybe don't like our stomach. Some of us, but once they know your insecurities, whether the woman or the man, that's all they talk about. Maybe you're insecure because you have added a little bit of weight. Maybe after having the baby, maybe 2-3 months after you had your baby, you're not losing the stomach fat, your belly is big and you're insecure about it. That is the only time he or she wants to talk about it. Oh, that food on your plate, is it not a little bit too big? Don't you think you're eating too much? That's why you're fat. Why did you buy so much meat? You see, this is what I'm talking about. That's why you're fat. Why are you sitting down there eating when you're supposed to be working out? You see, that's what I'm saying. That's why you're fat. Why would you buy those clothes? Those don't look good on you. You know you're very fat. They always use it against you. That thing they know you're insecure about. That's your insecurity. They know that it bothers you. They use it all the time against you. Those are the 6 signs of harm that, my sister, you are in a psychological and emotional abuse. Now, you ask me. Now I know. I know that I used to be confident, but now I'm not confident anymore. I used to be capable, now I'm incapable. I used to be, upbeat, happy, and content. Now I'm emotionally exhausted. I'm always anxious. Before I used to know what I believe in, I know my belief system. Now I don't even know what I believe in. I don't even know what I value anymore. I'm just tired. Just do whatever you need to do, but just leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm exhausted. I have this chronic depression. I'm depressed. I have anxiety. I have post traumatic stress disorder. I don't know what to do. What do I do? What do I do? My sister, 3 things. I'm going to give you 3 ways to take your life back. 3 ways to say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I am tired of feeling this way. I am tired of letting somebody make me feel this way. I am tired of all this because I am going to take my life back. I'm going to get my confidence back. I'm going to get my self-esteem back. I'm going to get my belief system back. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be content. I am going to be satisfied. You know how you're going to do it, my uniques? The first thing is become clear about what is happening in your relationship. Become clear. Acknowledgement, acknowledgement, acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge that this is happening. Sister, come on, come closer. My brother, come closer. Come on, come on, come on, come closer. Now you're here, listen. Living in denial is not the answer to the problem. Most of the time, we know what is going on, but we are so worried about what John will say over there, what Akudo will say over there, what Stacy will say over there, what David will say over there. We are so worried about what they will say that we are dying slowly. That's not God's will for you. Acknowledge there is a problem. Acknowledge the behavior. Acknowledge the behavior. Acknowledge the impact of the behavior on you, and then acknowledge your response. Behavior, impact, and response. Behavior, impact, and response. You have to acknowledge this is a problem. I might not say it. He is not physically hitting me. I don't have any bruises on me. But verbally, he is abusing me. And this verbal abuse has now led to my psychological and emotional abuse. I am anxious. I have anxiety. I have chronic depression. I have post-traumatic stress disorder. I am confused. I am being bullied. They are using gaslighting on me. They are dismissing me, like, even though they are doing all this to me, but they are dismissing my emotions like it doesn't matter. You have to acknowledge there is a problem. The first step to healing is acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge something is wrong. This is not the time to go by faith, because we Christians, we normally do that. We see a problem. Instead of us to deal with the problem, we want to say, oh, by faith, I claim nothing is wrong with me. My sister, my brother, come on, come closer. That will not make the problem disappear. You have to acknowledge the problem. What did the Bible say? The Bible says you have to do what? Confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord. You believe it in your heart, then you will be saved. So the first step is acknowledging it and confessing it. You have to acknowledge something is not right in this relationship. The way you talk to me is not the way people that love each other talk to each other. The way you dismiss me is not the way you should dismiss me and claim at the same time that you love me. You acknowledge the behavior. This behavior is not right. The impact, this behavior is affecting me. I am not depressed. I don't feel good about myself. I've lost being happy. I've lost my self-esteem. I've lost my confidence. I don't know who I am anymore, because I have taken this, I have internalized it. It has gotten to my head, my heart. I don't know who I am anymore. And then you acknowledge the response. I need to do something about it. I have noticed the behavior. I have acknowledged the impact of the behavior on me. Now I'm going to respond to this behavior. Something has to change. Then the second thing, remember I said I'm going to give you 3 ways to get your life back. The first one is become clear what is happening around you. Be aware and acknowledge what is happening around you. Acknowledge the behavior, acknowledge the impact of the behavior on you, and acknowledge how you're going to respond to it. That's the first way to get your life back. The second way to get your life back, become emotionally stronger. Do you know how you do that? Become emotionally stronger by moving out of your confusion. Trust how you feel, think, and see. Because you acknowledge the problem, that's not the end of it. Now you have at number 1, say you acknowledge the problem, the behavior, the impact, and the response. Now number 2 way to take your life back, you have to move out of this confusion. Now it is clear to you that something is wrong in this relationship. But now you have to move to the next step, which is you have to trust what you're feeling, trust what you're thinking, and trust what you're seeing. Don't live in denial, my uniques. Don't see red and say it's blue because you don't want to hear what Sister Akudo is going to say about you. Don't sit there and die in silence because you're scared what Brother John or Brother George will say about you. No, my sister. No, my brother. You have to speak up. Trust yourself. That's the only way you can get out of the confusion. You have acknowledged the problem. Now trust yourself. Trust that what you're seeing, all these signs you're seeing, when he was calling you those names, he was not laughing about it. That was not a joke. When he was making those derogatory remarks about you, condescending comments about you, that was not fun. It really hurts you. You don't like it. Trust what you're feeling. You feel bad about it. You feel sad about it. You are angry about it. Trust what you're feeling. Trust what you're seeing. If it's physical abuse, he's hitting you. Don't make excuses. What happened to your eyes? Oh, I fell down the steps. What happened to your nose? Oh, I hit it by the fridge. What happened to your feet? Oh, I fell down the step. Don't make excuses. Trust what you're seeing. He actually hit you. He actually scratched you. She actually spit on you. She actually destroyed your property. She actually cut all the tires in your car. She actually did that. Trust what you're seeing, trust what you're feeling, and trust what you're thinking. You're thinking this is not good. You're thinking this is not right. People that love each other don't treat each other like this. This is not love. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is not boastful. Love is not prideful. Love does not keep a record of wrongdoing. Love is kind. Trust what you're thinking. Don't let nobody make you feel like you're a dummy. You're not a dummy. You know you don't feel good about this. They can't make you say, oh, it's okay. You know, that's the way I show love. We fight and then we make up. Don't you like when we make up? Don't you like the makeup session? I think I like the makeup. That's why I like to fight. So so that after fighting with you, then we can make up. No, my sister, no, my brother, don't let nobody tell you that lie from the pit of hell. I love you. You see, you just made me hit you. You made me say those words to you. You know I love you, baby. I would never say those things to you. But you know, whenever you make me mad, you make me say those things to you. That's a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Love doesn't hurt. Love is an action. Love is a verb. It's an action. It's not what you say, it's what you do. Don't tell me you love me with your mouth. Show me you love me. It's action. And then the final thing you need to do is feel like yourself. The final thing you need to do to feel like yourself again is take back those parts of your life that you have lost. How do you take them back? Seek for help, my sister. Seek for help, my brother. You can go see a psychiatric doctor. You can go see a psychologist. You can go see your therapist. There are some churches that offer counseling sessions. You can go see a counselor at the church. Speak to somebody. Some of us, our grandmothers are our counselors. We don't even need to pay a therapist. Just go to your grandma. Just go to your grandpa. Just go to somebody, a Christian couple, a family you look up to, an elderly person that is maybe your spiritual advisor. If you don't have money to go professionally, go speak to somebody, my sister. Go speak to somebody, my brother. You need to get your life back. 3 things I told you. Acknowledge the behavior, acknowledge the impact, and acknowledge how you're going to respond. Number 2, you have acknowledged it. Now, the second thing you need to do is be emotionally stronger. How do you do that? You move away from confusion, trust what you're feeling, trust what you're thinking, and trust what you're seeing. And then number 3 says, take your life back, those parts, by going to seek help. Remember, I have a hotline, a helpline in the description. Call that number if you need help. Call, talk to somebody. See a therapist, psychiatric doctor, a psychologist. Go to your pastor, go to your parents, go to somebody that you trust. But you need to speak, speak, and speak. Remember, my uniques, a man is told he is loved. A woman is shown she is loved. And our children must feel they are loved. I'm going to leave you with that. A man is told he is loved. A woman is shown she is loved. And children must feel that they are loved. Remember, abuse of any kind is not wanted, is not tolerated, is not accepted, is not welcomed in our society. As individual and as a group, we must come together and say no to domestic violence and all kinds of abuse. Give us a thumbs up, share the video, and remember to subscribe to the channel. Remember, you are beautifully and wonderfully made by God. That is why you are unique. Be kind to yourself and to each other. Bye-bye.